Let me show you something that will scare you. Not horror movie scary. Real scary. The kind of discipline that makes normal people look at you and think, that's not normal. The kind that makes your friends uncomfortable. The kind that makes strangers ask, how do you do that? With genuine fear in their eyes. You're about to discover a level of discipline that most people can't even comprehend. Not because they're not capable, but because they've never seen it, never been exposed to it, never understood that this level even exists. There are people walking among you right now who operate at a level of consistency that would break your brain if you tried to copy it. Monks who haven't missed a 3:30 a.m. meditation in 30 years. Navy SEALs who train when they're injured, sick, exhausted. Entrepreneurs who work the same hours every single day for decades. Athletes who follow the exact same routine for their entire careers. What separates them from you isn't talent, isn't genetics, isn't luck. It's discipline at a level that looks insane to normal people. And that's exactly the point. If your discipline looks normal, it's not working. Here's what you need to understand. Your current level of discipline is a joke. You think you're disciplined because you go to the gym 3 times a week. You think you're consistent because you haven't quit yet. But compared to the scariest level of discipline, you're not even trying. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying it because you need to understand what's actually possible, what actually works, what actually transforms people from average to unstoppable. This audiobook will show you discipline so extreme it seems impossible. Monks who practice the same ritual for 800 years without a single day missed. Military operators who never negotiate with discomfort. Elite performers who execute the same system regardless of circumstances. And how you can build this level of discipline yourself. Warning: this will make you uncomfortable. It will challenge everything you believe about balance, rest, and moderation. It will force you to question whether you've ever actually been disciplined in your life. And it will demand that you choose between staying comfortable or becoming scary. Most people will choose comfortable. They'll listen to this, feel inspired for a day, then return to their normal level of discipline, which is to say, barely disciplined at all. But some of you will be different. Some of you will recognize that scary discipline is exactly what you've been missing. That normal gets normal results, and you don't want normal. Are you ready to discover the scariest level of discipline you've ever seen? Good. Let's begin. Part 1. What scary discipline looks like. Chapter 1. The 3:30 a.m. bell. Let me tell you about a place that's been operating since 1200 AD. A Zen temple in Japan called Aiheiji. Every single morning at exactly 3:30 a.m., a bell rings. And every single morning since 1200 AD, the monks wake up. Not 3:25, not 3:35, exactly 3:30 a.m. Let that sink in. We're talking about over 800 years. No days off. No, I don't feel like it today. No negotiations. The bell rings. The monks wake. That's it. You know what's never happened in that temple? A monk hasn't hit snooze. The thought doesn't exist. There's no internal negotiation about whether to get up. The bell rings, you rise. End of story. This is what scary discipline looks like. Not motivation. Not willpower. Just complete elimination of choice. The system is so strong that the individual's feelings are irrelevant. Now compare that to you. How many mornings do you wake up and immediately start negotiating? Should I get up? I'm tired. Maybe 5 more minutes. I didn't sleep well. I can start tomorrow. That internal negotiation is destroying you, and you don't even realize it. Here's what you don't understand about the monks. They're not superhuman. They don't have special genetics. They're not immune to wanting to sleep in. Their discipline isn't about feeling like doing it. It's about building a system so strong that feelings become irrelevant. They've eliminated the decision. When you eliminate the decision, you eliminate the negotiation. When you eliminate the negotiation, you eliminate the possibility of failure. Think about your life. How many decisions are you making every single day about things that should be automatic? Should I work out today? Should I eat healthy? Should I do my important work? Each of these decisions burns mental energy. Each negotiation weakens you. Each choice is an opportunity to choose wrong. The monks understood something fundamental. Discipline isn't about making the right choice every day. It's about eliminating the choice entirely. When there's no choice, there's no way to fail. But here's what scares people about this level of discipline. It requires you to give up something you think is valuable. Your flexibility, your spontaneity, your ability to listen to your body, and rest when you feel tired. All of that has to die. And people resist this. They say, I don't want to be a robot. But they're already robots. Robots programmed by their weakest impulses. Robots that automatically choose comfort. Robots that consistently pick easy over effective. The monks aren't robots. They're free. Free from the constant mental battle of should I or shouldn't I. Free from the exhaustion of daily negotiation. Free from the disappointment of another broken promise to themselves. That's what scary discipline creates. Not rigidity. Freedom. Freedom from your weak patterns. Freedom from your excuses. Freedom from your inconsistency. The 3:30 a.m. bell has been ringing for 800 years, and it will continue ringing whether you're disciplined or not. The question is, will you build discipline that rings just as consistently in your own life? Or will you keep hitting snooze on your potential? Chapter 2. The Seal Who Couldn't Stop. His name was David Goggins. Maybe you've heard of him. Maybe you haven't. Doesn't matter. What matters is what he did that separates him from every person making excuses. He was overweight, depressed, working a dead-end job, spraying for cockroaches. One day he saw a Navy SEAL documentary. Something clicked. He decided to become a SEAL. One problem. He had to lose over 100 pounds in 3 months to even qualify for training. Impossible, right? He woke up at 4 a.m. every single day. Ran, biked, swam, did it again in the evening. Every day. No exceptions. Sick, trained, exhausted, trained, injured, trained, lost the weight, made it to SEAL training. But here's where it gets scary. SEAL training broke him. Literally. Stress fractures in his legs. Kidneys failing. Pneumonia. His body was shutting down. The instructors told him to quit. Smart people quit. He didn't quit. Why? Not because he loved pain. Because quitting wasn't in his code. He became a SEAL. Then became an ultra-endurance athlete. Ran 100-mile races. Set world records. His competitors were professional athletes with perfect genetics and training their whole lives. He was a former fat kid with destroyed joints and lungs damaged from inhaling spray chemicals for years. He beat them. How? Discipline so extreme it scared people. Training sessions that would hospitalize normal humans. Workouts when any rational person would rest. Pushing through pain that would make others beg for mercy. He called it staying hard. Everyone else called it insane. Here's what you need to understand. Goggins isn't special. His pain tolerance isn't higher. His genetics aren't better. His circumstances weren't easier. Actually, they were worse. He just refused to negotiate with discomfort. Refused to let pain be a reason to stop. Refused to be normal. And people hated it. His wife left him because she couldn't handle his intensity. Friends said he was going too far. Doctors told him to stop before he killed himself. Everyone wanted him to be reasonable, to have balance, to be normal. He didn't listen, because normal people get normal results, and he didn't want normal. He wanted to prove that the human mind can overcome anything. And he did. Now, you're not training to be a Navy SEAL. You're not running 100-mile races, but you're making the same excuses that separate you from this level. I'm tired. I need rest. Today's not a good day. These are negotiations with weakness, and every negotiation makes you weaker. Goggins eliminated negotiation. Pain wasn't a reason to stop. It was information his body was still working. Exhaustion wasn't a signal to rest. It was a reminder that he was pushing past normal limits. Every discomfort was proof he was doing what others wouldn't. That's scary discipline. Not doing what feels right. Doing what you committed to regardless of how it feels. The feeling is irrelevant. The commitment is everything. You don't need to be a SEAL. You don't need to run ultramarathons. But you need to eliminate negotiation from your life. When the alarm goes off, you get up. No negotiation. When it's time to work, you work. No negotiation. When you're committed to something, you do it. No negotiation. Every time you negotiate, you train weakness. Every time you eliminate negotiation, you train strength. Choose which one you want to become. Chapter 3. Why your discipline is fake. You think you're disciplined. You're not. Let me show you why. You go to the gym 3 times a week. But not when you're tired. Not when you're traveling. Not when you're busy. Not when you don't feel like it. That's not discipline. That's convenient consistency. Real discipline doesn't care about convenience. You eat healthy most of the time, but not on weekends. Not at parties. Not when you're stressed. Not when there's good food available. That's not discipline. That's situational obedience. Real discipline doesn't change with situations. You work hard when you're motivated, when the project is exciting, when you're inspired, when you can see results. That's not discipline. That's motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Here's the test. Do you do it when you don't want to? Do you maintain it when circumstances change? Do you continue when no one's watching? If the answer to any of these is no, you don't have discipline. You have preferences. Real discipline looks scary because it doesn't bend. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about your feelings or circumstances or excuses. It just is. Like gravity. Like the sunrise. Constant. Unchanging. Inevitable. Think about the monks. They don't meditate when they feel spiritual. They meditate at 3:30 a.m. every day, whether they feel it or not. That's real discipline. The feeling is irrelevant. The schedule is absolute. Think about elite athletes. They don't train when they feel strong. They train every day, whether they're tired, injured, sick, or perfect. The system doesn't change based on feeling. The system is the system. You're negotiating constantly. Should I work out today? I'm pretty tired. Maybe I should rest. I worked out hard yesterday. I can do extra tomorrow. That's not discipline. That's just making excuses with extra steps. Real discipline has already decided. There's nothing to negotiate. It's Monday. You work out. It's 6 a.m. You're awake. It's time to work. You work. The decision was made once. Now you just execute. Forever. Here's why your current level of discipline is fake. You've given yourself escape hatches. I'll do it unless I'm too tired. I'll stick to it unless something comes up. I'll be consistent unless it's inconvenient. Those unless kill discipline. They transform commitment into preference. Scary discipline has no unless. It's unconditional, non-negotiable, absolute. And that absoluteness is exactly what makes it work. When there's no escape, you can't escape. When there's no negotiation, you can't negotiate yourself out of it. But you're afraid of absolute commitment. You want flexibility. You want to be able to rest when you're tired. You want permission to stop when it's hard. And that's fine. Just understand that's why you'll never have scary discipline. Real discipline requires killing those escape routes. All of them. You're not disciplined. You're doing your best. And your best negotiates with discomfort. Your best has conditions. Your best makes exceptions. Real discipline has no conditions. No exceptions. No negotiations. Just execution. Forever. Chapter 4. The difference that separates them. There's a specific moment that separates the disciplined from the undisciplined. It happens every single day. And most people don't even notice when they fail it. It's the moment between stimulus and response. Between the alarm going off and whether you get up. Between feeling hungry and whether you eat the thing you shouldn't. Between knowing you should work and whether you actually start. That gap. That's where discipline lives or dies. Undisciplined people in that gap negotiate. They feel the stimulus and immediately start the internal conversation. Should I? Maybe I shouldn't. What if I just? They're weighing options, considering feelings, looking for reasons to choose the easier path, and they usually find them. Disciplined people in that gap execute. They feel the stimulus and immediately act. No thought, no negotiation, no consideration of feelings. The alarm goes off, they get up. It's time to work, they work. The commitment was made previously. Now they just do it. But people with scary discipline? They've eliminated the gap entirely. There is no moment between stimulus and response. The stimulus, I ask the response. The alarm doesn't go off, and then they decide to get up. The alarm goes off, and they're already moving. Automatic. Instant. Inevitable. This is what 800 years of the same routine creates. This is what years of no negotiations creates. This is what absolute commitment creates. The elimination of the gap. The fusion of stimulus and response. The transformation of decision into reflex. Think about breathing. You don't decide to breathe. You don't negotiate whether to take the next breath. You don't check how you feel about breathing. You just breathe. Automatically. Without thought. Without choice. That's how scary discipline works with committed behaviors. They become as automatic as breathing. Now think about your morning routine. Alarm goes off. What happens? For most people, thought process begins. Should I get up? How do I feel? How tired am I? What time did I go to bed? What's my day look like? Maybe 5 more minutes. That's 30 seconds to 5 minutes of negotiation. Every morning. That negotiation is killing your discipline. Scary discipline. Alarm goes off. You're up. No gap. No thought. No negotiation. Just movement. The decision was made months ago, years ago. Today isn't a new decision. Today is just execution of the standing decision. Here's what creates this. Elimination of alternatives. The monks at 3:30 a.m. don't stay in bed because staying in bed isn't an option that exists in their reality. It's not that they choose to get up over staying in bed. Staying in bed isn't even a choice. There's only one option. Get up. So they get up. You have alternatives. Every moment is a new decision. Should I? Shouldn't I? What if? Maybe. Those alternatives are destroying you. Every alternative is a negotiation point. Every negotiation point is a failure point. You have to eliminate the alternatives. All of them. This is what scares people. The elimination of choice. The death of flexibility. The end of listening to how you feel. Because to normal people, choice feels like freedom. But choice is actually prison. The prison of constant decision-making. The prison of negotiating with yourself. The prison of inconsistency. Real freedom is the elimination of choice. When there's only one option, you're free from the burden of deciding. You just do. And doing is infinitely easier than deciding to do. The difference between you and them isn't ability. It's the gap. They've eliminated it. You're still living in it. Every day. Every decision. Every negotiation. Close the gap. Eliminate the alternatives. Fusion stimulus with response. That's where scary discipline begins. Part 2. The Psychology of Extreme Discipline. Chapter 5. Your Brain's Secret War. Your brain is fighting you. Right now. Every day. And you don't even know it. Let me show you what's happening inside your skull. Your brain has two systems. System 1. Fast, automatic, emotional, energy efficient. System 2. Slow, deliberate, logical, energy expensive. System 1 wants you to stay in bed. System 2 knows you should get up. Guess which one wins most mornings? System 1. Because it's faster and it doesn't cost energy. Every time you negotiate with yourself about whether to do the thing you committed to, you're forcing System 2 to fight System 1. And System 2 burns glucose. It gets tired. It weakens throughout the day. This is called decision fatigue. And it's why you're disciplined in the morning, but collapse by evening. Here's what you don't understand. You're losing the war because you're fighting battles. Every morning, you fight the battle of getting up. Every meal, you fight the battle of eating right. Every work session, you fight the battle of staying focused. You're exhausted because you're at war constantly. Scary discipline doesn't fight these battles. It won the war before the battle started. How? By making the decision once, permanently, and removing it from daily consideration. The monks don't fight the battle of getting up at 3:30 a.m. They won that battle centuries ago. Now it's just automatic. System 1 handles it. No energy required. When you make something automatic, you transfer it from System 2 to System 1, from deliberate to automatic, from energy expensive to energy free. This is why habits are powerful. Not because they're easy, because they stop costing mental energy. But here's the catch. Getting something into System 1 requires massive repetition without breaks. Your brain needs to see the pattern so many times that it says, okay, this is permanent. I'll handle this automatically now. But every time you break the pattern, you reset the counter. Every negotiation tells your brain, this isn't permanent. We're still deciding. So it never becomes automatic. This is why scary discipline is so consistent. No breaks. No negotiations. No exceptions. The pattern is absolute. So the brain eventually surrenders and says, fine, this is permanent. I'll stop resisting. That surrender is the transition from discipline, requiring willpower, to discipline becoming identity. Let me explain identity. Right now, you identify as someone who tries to be disciplined, someone who does their best, someone who's working on it. That identity is weak. It allows for failure. It expects inconsistency. Your brain knows you're not really committed, so it keeps offering you outs. Scary discipline creates a different identity. I am someone who gets up at 5 a.m. Not I'm trying to. Not I usually. I am. That identity is absolute. And once it's established, your brain stops fighting it. Because System 1 is designed to maintain consistency with your identity. If you are someone who gets up at 5 a.m., then getting up at 5 a.m. is just what you do. Automatically. But building that identity requires what psychologists call identity evidence. You need proof that you are that person. And the proof is consistency. Every day you get up at 5 a.m. is evidence. Every day you don't is counter-evidence. Your brain is keeping score. Enough evidence, the identity forms. Too much counter-evidence, the identity never forms. This is why one cheat day can destroy weeks of progress. Not because the one day matters physically, because it matters psychologically. It's counter-evidence. It tells your brain, we're not really that person. We're still negotiating. And negotiation means System 2 has to keep fighting, which means you're back in the war. Here's what elite performers understand that you don't. The goal isn't to have discipline. The goal is to become someone for whom discipline is automatic, to transfer the behaviors from System 2 to System 1, from decision to reflex, from effort to identity. And the only way to do that is through absolute consistency until the transfer completes. Your brain is fighting you because you keep telling it this is temporary, that you're trying this for a while, that you'll see how it goes. Your brain interprets all of that as not permanent, which means keep resisting. Scary discipline tells the brain this is permanent, stop resisting. And eventually, the brain listens. Stop fighting battles. Win the war. Make the decision once. Remove negotiation. Maintain absolute consistency until your brain surrenders and makes it automatic. That's how you end the secret war. Not by winning every fight, by making fighting unnecessary. Chapter 6. The Pain Requirement. Let me tell you something no one wants to hear. Building scary discipline requires pain. Not optional discomfort. Real pain. And if you're not willing to experience it, you'll never get there. Here's why. Your current patterns are comfortable. Your brain has optimized for them. They're energy efficient. They work. And your brain's job is to keep you in patterns that work, even if work means barely surviving. Survival is the goal. Comfort is the method. To break those patterns requires forcing your brain to build new neural pathways. And building new neural pathways hurts. Literally. It requires energy your brain doesn't want to spend. It creates stress your brain wants to avoid. It demands sustained discomfort your brain is designed to prevent. Think about learning a new language. The first month is torture. Your brain is rewiring, building new connections. Every study session burns energy and creates frustration. Your brain hates it, offers you every excuse to stop. This is too hard. You're not good at languages. You don't have time for this. Why are you even doing this? That's your brain trying to stop the pain of rewiring. Building scary discipline is the same, except worse, because you're not just learning something new. You're killing something old. Your comfortable patterns, your familiar routines, your easy defaults. And killing patterns your brain has relied on for years creates massive resistance. Your brain will fight you with everything it has. This is why the first 2 weeks of any new discipline are hell. You're not just building new patterns. You're fighting your brain's desperate attempt to return to the old patterns. Every morning you want to sleep in. Every evening you want to quit. Every moment is a battle. That's the pain. That's the requirement. Most people quit in these 2 weeks. They think this is too hard. It shouldn't be this difficult. Something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. This is exactly how it's supposed to feel. The pain is the process. The discomfort is the transformation. If it doesn't hurt, you're not actually changing anything meaningful. Here's what you need to understand. The pain is temporary. Not gone in a day temporary. Gone in weeks temporary. If you push through the initial pain period, something shifts. Week 3, it gets slightly easier. Week 4, easier still. Week 6, you're not fighting as hard. Week 8, it's starting to feel normal. Week 12, it's automatic. But most people never get to week 3. They experience the pain of weeks 1 and 2, decide it's not worth it, and quit. Then 3 months later, they try again. Same pain, same quit point. They spend their whole life experiencing the painful beginning, but never pushing through to where it gets easier. This is the trap. The pain is the entry fee. You have to pay it. You can pay it once and get through to the other side, where discipline becomes automatic. Or you can pay it repeatedly, quitting before you get the benefit, starting over and paying it again. Either way, you're paying. The question is whether you're getting anything for your payment. Scary discipline requires you to embrace the pain, not avoid it, not minimize it. Embrace it. Wake up in pain from yesterday's workout. Good. That's your body adapting. Mind screaming at you to quit? Good. That's your brain resisting change. Want to sleep in more than you've ever wanted anything? Good. That means you're in the critical period. Push through. The monks understood this. They call it sitting through the storm. When you start meditation, your mind goes insane. Thoughts everywhere. Discomfort. Frustration. The urge to stop. That's the storm. Weak practitioners quit. Strong practitioners sit through it. And on the other side of the storm is clarity. But you only get there by enduring the storm, not avoiding it, not waiting for it to pass, sitting in it, through it, until it's over. Your discipline storm is the same. You have to sit through it. Every morning that you want to quit, every evening that you want to give up, every moment that it feels impossible, you sit through it. You don't negotiate. You don't consider quitting. You just endure. Because on the other side of this temporary pain is permanent strength. But here's what no one tells you. The pain doesn't completely disappear. It transforms. Initial pain is resistance to change. But after you've changed, there's maintenance pain. The pain of continuing. It's less intense, but it's there. Elite performers aren't pain-free. They're just accustomed to pain. They've made peace with it. They've learned that pain is the price of excellence, and they pay it gladly. You're trying to avoid pain. That's why you'll never build scary discipline. Scary discipline requires making pain your friend, not your enemy. Your friend who shows up every day, who pushes you, who reminds you that you're doing something most people can't. Pain becomes proof you're operating at a level others aren't. So stop trying to make discipline comfortable. It's not. Stop looking for the easy way. There isn't one. Stop waiting for it to not hurt. It's going to hurt. Accept the pain. Embrace it. Use it. That's the requirement. Pay it or stay weak. Your choice. Chapter 7. The Death of Your Old Self. Building scary discipline isn't self-improvement. It's self-destruction. You have to kill who you are to become who you want to be. And most people aren't willing to do that. Let me be clear about what I mean. Right now, you have an identity, a way of seeing yourself. I'm the kind of person who sleeps in sometimes. I'm not a morning person. I need my rest. I value balance. These aren't just thoughts. They're your identity. And your brain protects your identity like it's protecting your life. When you try to build discipline that contradicts your identity, your brain treats it as an existential threat. You say, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Your brain says, but we're not a morning person. This threatens who we are. And it fights you. Hard. Because to your brain, changing your identity feels like dying. And here's the thing. It is dying. The old you has to die for the new you to emerge. The version of you that sleeps in, makes excuses, negotiates with discomfort. That person has to die. Completely. Not be improved. Not be modified. Die. This is why scary discipline is scary. It's not about becoming a better version of yourself. It's about becoming a different person. The monks who wake at 3:30 a.m. aren't the same people who went to the monastery. They killed their old selves. Through years of discipline, they destroyed their previous identity and built a new one. They're not civilians who learn discipline. They're monks. Completely different beings. You're trying to stay yourself while also being disciplined. That doesn't work, because your current self is the one making excuses, hitting snooze, choosing comfort. Your current self is the problem. You can't fix the problem by being the problem. You have to stop being the problem, which means you have to stop being yourself. This sounds dramatic because it is dramatic. You're not making a small change. You're not adding a habit. You're fundamentally restructuring who you are at the identity level, and that requires death of the old identity. This is uncomfortable because humans don't like identity death. We like identity stability. We want to be the same person we were yesterday. Our brain demands it. But scary discipline requires identity revolution, complete overthrow of who you were, installation of who you are becoming. And revolutions are violent. There's no peaceful transition from undisciplined to unstoppable. There's only war against your old patterns until they're dead. Here's how you know if you're actually killing the old self. You stop recognizing yourself. Friends say, you're different. You agree. They say, I like the old you better. You don't care. They say, you're becoming obsessive. You take it as a compliment, because you're not trying to be a better version of your old self. You're trying to be someone completely different. When you stop caring what your old friends think, that's when you know the old self is dying. When you stop feeling the pull of old patterns, that's when you know that death is progressing. When your old excuses sound foreign to you, that's when you know you're becoming someone new. But most people abort the transformation. They start killing the old self, feel uncomfortable with the death, and resurrect it. Maybe I was too extreme. Maybe I need balance. Maybe the old me wasn't so bad. That's the old self fighting for survival. And if you listen, it wins. You return to who you were. The discipline dies. You stay the same. Scary discipline requires you to complete the death. No resurrection. No, maybe I went too far. No mercy for the old self. You kill it and you don't look back. Because looking back is how people turn into salt. Or in this case, how disciplined people turn back into undisciplined people. Think about caterpillars. They don't become better caterpillars. They dissolve completely into biological soup inside the chrysalis. Complete structural breakdown. Then they rebuild as something totally different. A butterfly. Not an improved caterpillar. A different being. That's metamorphosis. That's transformation. That's what building scary discipline requires. You're trying to stay a caterpillar while also flying. Doesn't work. You have to dissolve. Completely. Let the old structure break down. Then rebuild as something different. Something that can do what the old version couldn't. Not because it's better at being a caterpillar. Because it's not a caterpillar anymore. This is terrifying. Your brain will scream. Your friends will question. Your comfort will disappear. Everything familiar will die. And in that death, in that void, in that dissolution, you'll want to go back. You'll want to return to who you were, where things were comfortable, known, safe. Don't. Stay in the void. Stay in the dissolution. Let the old self die completely. Then rebuild. As someone new. Someone capable of scary discipline. Someone who doesn't negotiate. Someone who doesn't make excuses. Someone unstoppable. That person is on the other side of the death. But you only get there by completing the death, not avoiding it. Kill your old self. Completely. No mercy. No resurrection. That's the requirement. Most people won't do it. They'll try to improve their old self instead. And they'll stay the same. You're not most people. Kill who you are. Become who you must be. Chapter 8. Why comfort will destroy you. Comfort is killing you. Slowly. Quietly, completely, and you're letting it happen because comfort feels good. That's the trap. Your destruction feels like safety. Let me show you how this works. Your brain is designed to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. Makes sense, right? Comfort means safety, resources, no threats. Discomfort means danger, scarcity, potential death. For millions of years, this programming kept humans alive. Seek comfort. Avoid discomfort. Survive. But we're not in the jungle anymore. Comfort isn't safety. It's atrophy. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. You're not adapting. You're not building capacity. You're maintaining at best. Declining at worst. Because the human body and mind operate on use it or lose it. What's not challenged weakens. What's comfortable deteriorates. Think about your muscles. If you stopped using them, they'd atrophy. Within weeks, you'd lose strength. Within months, you'd struggle with basic tasks. Within years, you'd be weak. Not because something attacked your muscles, because nothing challenged them. Comfort is the enemy of strength. Always has been, always will be. Your discipline works the same way. Every time you choose comfort, you're weakening your discipline. Every morning you sleep in. Every workout you skip. Every time you take the easy path, you're training weakness. Comfort feels like you're being kind to yourself. You're actually destroying yourself. Here's what elite performers understand that you don't. Discomfort is growth, not punishment. Growth. When you're uncomfortable, you're forcing adaptation. Your body and mind are scrambling to handle the challenge. And in that scrambling, they get stronger. Discomfort is the signal that you're in the growth zone. Comfort is the signal that you're in the decay zone. The monks embrace discomfort, deliberately, sitting meditation for hours until their bodies scream, waking at 3:30 a.m. when every cell wants more sleep, eating simple food when taste would prefer flavor. They're not punishing themselves. They're growing themselves, through chosen discomfort, through rejected comfort. Now look at your life. You're choosing comfort constantly. Soft bed, warm house, easy food, entertainment on demand. Your entire existence is optimized for comfort, and you wonder why you're weak, why you can't stick to discipline, why you quit when things get hard. You've trained yourself for comfort, so discomfort destroys you. This is why scary discipline requires deliberately choosing discomfort, not waiting for discomfort to arrive, choosing it. Cold showers when warm ones are available, hard workouts when rest is possible, early mornings when sleep is tempting. You're forcing discomfort, training your brain that discomfort is normal, expected, tolerable. Most people do the opposite. They minimize discomfort at every opportunity. AC when it's hot, heating when it's cold, cushioned shoes, ergonomic chairs, soft music, easy food. They've eliminated discomfort from their lives. Then they wonder why they can't handle discomfort when it's required. Because they've never trained for it. They've trained against it. Your body adapts to what you expose it to. Expose it to comfort constantly, it becomes fragile. Expose it to discomfort regularly, it becomes resilient. This isn't philosophy. It's biology. Your nervous system literally rewires based on what you experience. Comfort makes you soft. Discomfort makes you hard. Here's the test. When was the last time you were genuinely uncomfortable? Not inconvenient. Uncomfortable. When was the last time you were cold and stayed cold instead of adjusting the temperature? Hot and stayed hot. Hungry and stayed hungry. Tired and stayed working. If you can't remember, you're living in comfort, which means you're becoming weaker, whether you realize it or not. Scary discipline requires eliminating comfort where possible, making your life deliberately harder. Not because hard is good, because hard makes you capable of handling hard, and life will give you hard whether you're ready or not. You can either prepare by choosing hard now, or you can suffer when hard arrives and you're not ready. Those are your options. The monks chose preparation. They make their lives harder than necessary. So when real hardship arrives, and it does, they're not broken by it. They've been training for it, daily, through chosen discomfort, through rejected comfort. They're ready because they've been preparing, through discipline that looks extreme, feels uncomfortable, works perfectly. You're doing the opposite, making your life as comfortable as possible, then hoping you'll somehow be tough enough when toughness is required. That's not how adaptation works. You can't train in comfort and perform in discomfort. You have to train in discomfort to perform in discomfort. Stop optimizing for comfort. Start optimizing for capability. Take the cold shower. Do the hard workout. Wake up early. Stay hungry. Work tired. Choose discomfort deliberately, daily, consistently. Train yourself to handle what most people can't. That's how you build scary discipline. Not by being comfortable with discipline, by being comfortable with discomfort. Comfort will destroy you. It's destroying you now. Every soft choice is a nail in your coffin. Every easy decision is a vote for weakness. You think you're treating yourself well. You're actually killing your potential. Stop. Choose hard. Become strong. That's the path. Part 3. Building Scary Discipline. Chapter 9. The Gwaji System. There's a Japanese word that will change your life if you understand it. Gwaji. It means continuous practice without gaps. Not practice with occasional breaks. Not practice when you feel like it. Continuous. Without gaps. Forever. This concept comes from Zen Buddhism, and it's the reason monks can maintain perfect consistency for decades. They've understood something fundamental. Gaps destroy discipline. Every gap is a reset. Every break requires restarting. Continuous practice without gaps means never restarting. Just continuing. Forever. Let me explain why gaps are so destructive. When you practice something consistently, your brain starts automating it. It takes about 66 days of daily repetition for most behaviors. Your brain essentially says, okay, we're doing this every day. I'll handle this automatically. And it moves the behavior from conscious control to automatic function, from System 2 to System 1. But gaps interrupt this process. If you skip a day, your brain says, wait, maybe we're not doing this every day. Let me keep this in conscious control for now. The automation doesn't complete. You stay in the effortful phase. And if you skip multiple days, the automation starts reversing. You're back to square one. All that momentum lost. Because of a gap. This is why people fail at building habits. They do great for 2 weeks. Then they skip a day. Just one day. But that one day tells their brain, this isn't absolute. We're still deciding. The automation pauses. Then they skip another day. The automation reverses. Then they're back to fighting willpower battles every day. All because they allowed gaps. Gwaji eliminates gaps. Not reduces them. Eliminates them. You do the practice every single day. No exceptions. Sick. Do it. Traveling? Do it. Exhausted? Do it. The practice continues without gap. Your brain gets the message. This is absolute. Stop resisting. Make this automatic. But here's where most people fail. They think without gaps means perfect practice every time. It doesn't. It means doing something, even if imperfect, every single day. The monks who practice Gwaji understand that some days the meditation is poor quality. Some days they're distracted. Some days they barely pay attention. But they still sit. Still practice. The continuity matters more than the quality of any individual session. You're trying to do perfect practice. And when you can't do it perfectly, you skip it. If I can't do the full workout, why do anything? That logic is destroying you. Because the gap is what kills momentum, not the imperfect practice. Let me give you a practical example. You commit to working out every day. Monday through Friday go great. Saturday you're traveling. Old you. I can't get to a gym. I'll just skip today and restart Monday. New you with Gwaji. I'll do 20 push-ups in the hotel room. Not ideal, but no gap. The 20 push-ups maintain momentum. They tell your brain, we're still doing this. Every day. Monday comes and you're back at the gym without having to restart. The gap was prevented. The momentum continues. The automation proceeds. That's the power of Gwaji. Now scale this to a lifetime. The monks have been practicing Gwaji for centuries. No gaps. Ever. Some practices are interrupted by illness, natural disaster, war. They find a way to continue. even if barely, even if reduced. The continuity is maintained. The practice perpetuates itself. Gwiji. This is why their discipline looks scary. Because it is. It's discipline that's been operating continuously for their entire monastic life. No resets. No restarts. No gaps. Just ongoing, perpetual practice. The momentum is unstoppable because it's never stopped. The habit is unbreakable because it's never broken. You need to apply Gwiji to your critical disciplines. Choose the non-negotiable practices, the ones that define who you're becoming. Then commit to Gwiji. Every day. No gaps. Not for a month. Not for a year. Forever. That's the commitment. That's the system. That's what creates scary discipline. Your brain will resist. It wants escape hatches. What if I'm sick? What if I'm traveling? What if something comes up? No. Gwiji. The practice continues. Maybe reduced. Maybe modified. But never stopped. Never gapped. The continuity is absolute. That's the rule. This seems extreme. It is. That's why it works. That's why monks can do what you can't. They've committed to Gwiji. You're still negotiating. They've eliminated gaps. You're still creating them. They're operating at a level that seems impossible because they're playing by different rules. Rules that work. Gwiji. Chapter 10. The 4 a.m. Protocol. Let me tell you about 4 a.m. The hour that separates the disciplined from the pretenders. The time when your discipline is tested with 0 witnesses and 0 support. The moment where you're completely alone with your commitment. 4 a.m. is where scary discipline is built. Why 4 a.m. specifically? Because the world is asleep. No distractions. No excuses. No, I have to take this call. Or someone needs me. At 4 a.m., there's only you and your choice. Get up or stay down. Honor your commitment or break it. With no one watching. No one to impress. No one to judge. Just you and your discipline. This is the test. When it's easy, everyone shows up. When people are watching, everyone performs. When you're motivated, everyone acts. But at 4 a.m., when your body is screaming for more sleep, when your mind is offering every rationalization, when no one knows if you do it or not, that's when real discipline is proven. Here's what makes 4 a.m. special. You're deciding at your weakest moment. Sleep is seductive. Your bed is comfortable. Your body is heavy. Your mind is groggy. Every physical and mental system is telling you to stay down, and you have to override all of them with pure commitment. No help, no support, just you deciding who you are. The 4 a.m. protocol isn't about sleep optimization. It's not about finding your natural rhythm. It's about training yourself to do the hard thing when everything in you wants to do the easy thing. It's about building discipline so strong that it functions independently of how you feel. Because at 4 a.m., you never feel like getting up. Never. And that's exactly why you must. Here's how it works. Set your alarm for 4 a.m., not 4:15, not between 4 and 4:30. Exactly 4 a.m. When it goes off, you move. Not in 5 minutes. Not after you think about it. Immediately. Feet at the floor. Body rises. No negotiation. This is non-negotiable. This is the protocol. Your mind will fight you. Just 10 more minutes. You went to bed late. You can start tomorrow. This is extreme. All true. Irrelevant. The protocol doesn't negotiate with circumstances. Tired. Protocol. Late night. Protocol. Holiday. Protocol. The protocol is absolute. That's what makes it work. What do you do at 4 a.m.? Your most important work. The thing that moves your life forward. Not checking email. Not scrolling. Not easing into the day. Your critical work. The work that requires your best thinking. Your highest energy. Your complete focus. You do that work first, before the world wakes up, before distractions arrive, before your energy depletes. First, this is called eating the frog. Do the hardest, most important thing first, not because it feels good, because it's important, and by doing it at 4 a.m., you ensure it gets done. No matter what happens the rest of the day, your most important work is complete. That's power. That's control. That's discipline that scares people because they can't imagine functioning at 4 a.m. while you're winning at 4 a.m. Here's what happens after 30 days of the 4 a.m. protocol. Your life transforms. Not because you're sleeping less, because you're working when your mind is clearest. Your critical work is getting 2 hours of undistracted focus every morning. That's 60 hours a month, 730 hours a year, on your most important work, while everyone else is sleeping. You're building your future while they're dreaming about theirs. But the transformation is deeper than productivity. The 4 a.m. protocol rewires your relationship with discomfort. Every morning is a small victory over your comfort-seeking biology. Every morning is proof you can do hard things. Every morning is evidence you're becoming someone different. Someone who doesn't negotiate. Someone who executes. Someone scary disciplined. Your friend will ask how you do it. You'll tell them. They'll try it for 2 days. Then quit. I can't function on that little sleep. Translation. I'm not willing to be uncomfortable. That's fine. You're not trying to convince them. You're trying to separate yourself from them. The 4 a.m. protocol does exactly that. Separates those who want easy from those who want excellent. Now let's address the obvious. But I need 8 hours of sleep. Then go to bed at 8 p.m. The protocol doesn't care when you sleep. It cares when you wake. If you need 8 hours, go to bed earlier. If you need 7 hours, go to bed at 9 p.m. Figure out what your body needs and make it happen. The wake time is non-negotiable. The sleep time is your responsibility to arrange. But I have kids/commitments/circumstances. Everyone has circumstances. Elite performers figure out how to execute despite circumstances. Average people use circumstances as excuses. Which one are you? The protocol doesn't bend for circumstances. You bend circumstances around the protocol. That's what discipline means. Making your commitments more important than your convenience. The 4 a.m. protocol isn't for everyone. Most people will read this and never try it. Some will try it for a week and quit. A few will commit for a month and feel the power. And very few will make it permanent. Those few will be unstoppable because they've proven to themselves they can override their biology, control their schedule, execute regardless of feeling. That's scary discipline. That's the 4 a.m. protocol. Chapter 11, The Suffering Practice. Let me introduce you to a concept that will make you uncomfortable. Voluntary suffering. Not accidental pain. Not unavoidable discomfort. Deliberate, chosen, sustained suffering. And if you're not practicing it, you're not building scary discipline. Here's why. Life will give you suffering, whether you want it or not. Loss, failure, pain, disappointment, betrayal. Suffering is guaranteed. The question isn't if you'll suffer. It's whether you'll be ready when suffering arrives. And you only get ready by practicing suffering, by choosing it before it's forced on you. Think about vaccines. You inject a small amount of the disease to train your immune system. So when the real disease arrives, your body is ready. It's seen this before. It knows how to fight. It's prepared. Voluntary suffering works the same way. You inject small amounts of suffering to train your mind. So when real suffering arrives, and it will, your mind is ready. It's been trained. It's prepared. The monks understand this. They practice voluntary suffering daily. Cold baths, hours of uncomfortable sitting, simple food, hard beds. They're not masochists. They're preparing. training their minds to tolerate discomfort. So when real suffering arrives, illness, loss, aging, they don't break. They've been training for it, daily, through chosen suffering. Here's what voluntary suffering looks like practically. Cold exposure, ice baths, cold showers, standing in cold water until your body is screaming to get out, then staying longer. This trains your mind that discomfort is tolerable, that your mind can override your body's panic, that you're in control even when everything feels out of control. Fasting, going without food for extended periods, not because you're broke, because you're training. Training your mind that hunger is just a signal, not an emergency, that you can function despite hunger, that your body's demands are not commands. This is power, the power to override biology with will. Physical exhaustion, push-ups until failure, then 10 more, running until your legs are dead, then 1 more mile, lifting until your muscles are screaming, then 1 more rep. You're teaching your mind that its limits are negotiable. That I can't is usually I don't want to. That you have more capacity than you think. That's the lesson. And it's learned through pushing past pain. Here's what most people do. Avoid suffering. Minimize discomfort. Optimize for ease. They take warm showers. Eat when hungry. Rest when tired. Stop when it hurts. They live in comfort. Then something difficult happens, and they collapse, because they've never trained for difficulty. They're unprepared, weak, fragile. You need to be different. You need to choose suffering, daily, not masochistically, strategically. You're training for the suffering that's coming, the challenges you can't predict, the pain you can't avoid. You're preparing your mind by giving it small doses of suffering. So it learns, so it adapts, so it becomes strong. This is what separates elite performers from everyone else. They've embraced voluntary suffering. David Goggins runs 100 miles, not because he has to, because he's training his mind. Navy SEALs endure Hell Week, not because it's required for the job, because it proves they can handle suffering. Ultra-endurance athletes push their bodies to breaking, not because they love pain, because they're testing their mental limits. And when you watch them, you think that's crazy. Why would anyone do that? That's exactly the point. What seems crazy to you is preparation to them. They're training at a level you can't understand, building capacity you don't have, becoming capable of handling what would destroy you through voluntary suffering. Now, you don't need to run 100 miles, but you need your version of voluntary suffering, your practice that hurts, your daily dose of chosen discomfort. You're training for the real suffering that's coming. What's yours? Cold showers? Early wake-ups? Hard workouts? Extended fasts? Doesn't matter what. Matters that you do it. Daily. Voluntarily. Consistently. Here's the transformation voluntary suffering creates. You stop fearing suffering. You've been practicing it. You know you can handle it. When real suffering arrives, you're not shocked, not overwhelmed, not broken. You're prepared. You've trained for this. Your mind knows this pattern, and it executes what it's practiced. Endurance, resilience, strength. This is scary discipline. Not just doing what needs doing what hurts, daily, by choice, training yourself to tolerate what most people avoid, building capacity most people don't have, becoming someone most people can't understand, through voluntary suffering, through chosen pain, through deliberate discomfort. Start today. Choose your suffering. Make it part of your protocol. Do it daily, without negotiation, without exception, and watch what you become. Not comfortable, strong, not soft, hard, not fragile, unbreakable. That's what voluntary suffering builds. That's why it's required. That's how you become scary. Chapter 12. the zero-tolerance policy. Here's what kills most people's discipline: exceptions. Just this once won't hurt. I'll get back on track tomorrow. I deserve a break. Every exception weakens you. Every just this once makes the next exception easier. Every break makes restarting harder. Exceptions destroy discipline. Period. Scary discipline has zero tolerance for exceptions. Not low tolerance. Zero. There are no exceptions. No cheat days. No today is different. No special circumstances. The discipline is absolute. That absoluteness is what makes it work. Any flexibility is a crack, and cracks become breaks, and breaks become failure. Let me show you how exceptions destroy people. You commit to working out every day. Monday through Thursday, you're perfect. Friday comes. You're tired. Had a long week. Tell yourself, I'll skip today and do extra tomorrow. That seems reasonable. But here's what actually happened. You just taught your brain that this commitment is negotiable, that there are conditions, that when you're tired, the commitment doesn't apply. Saturday comes. You're recovering from the week. I deserve rest. I worked hard. Another exception. Now your brain knows. This commitment definitely isn't absolute. It's conditional. Conditional on energy. Conditional on feeling like it. Conditional on convenience. Sunday rolls around. You're back to deciding each day whether to work out. The discipline is gone because you allowed exceptions. This pattern is how people fail at everything. New Year's resolution to eat healthy. Going great for 2 weeks. Then there's a birthday party. Just for today. Then a work lunch. Just this meal. Then stress eating. Just until things calm down. The exceptions accumulate. The discipline dies. They're back where they started, because they allowed exceptions. Zero tolerance means no exceptions. Ever. For any reason. Work party, you stick to your eating plan. Traveling, you work out in a hotel room. Exhausted, you do it anyway. But what if I'm sick? What if there's an emergency? What if? No. Zero tolerance. You find a way. Always. Or you accept you don't actually have discipline. Just preferences that work until they're inconvenient. But that's extreme. You need balance. You need flexibility. No. You need discipline. Balance is for people who want to stay average. Flexibility is for people who want excuses. You want scary discipline. Scary discipline is absolute. Black and white. No gray area. The commitment is the commitment. Zero tolerance for deviation. Let me tell you about a man named Mitch. Committed to running every day for a year. Day 1 to 300, perfect. Day 301, terrible flu. High fever. Body aching. Friend said, take a break. You're sick. Start again when you're better. He ran. 1 mile. Slowly. Barely. But he ran. Because zero tolerance. Day 302. Still sick. Ran again. Day 365. Completed his year. Every single day. No exceptions. Was running while sick stupid? Medically, maybe. Psychologically? Brilliant. Because that run while sick was proof. Proof to himself that his commitment was absolute. That there were no exceptions. That his discipline didn't negotiate with circumstances. That proof carried forward. The next year, he faced other challenges. Each time, he remembered. I ran with the flu. This is nothing. Zero tolerance builds unbreakable discipline. Now, I need to address something. There are legitimate exceptions. If you're injured and your doctor says, don't work out, or you'll cause permanent damage, that's different. Zero tolerance doesn't mean being stupid. It means being absolute about the core commitment while adapting the execution. Can't run? Walk. Can't walk? Stretch. Can't stretch? Do breathing exercises. The practice continues. maybe modified, but never stopped. That's zero tolerance with intelligence. But most people confuse legitimate limitations with convenient exceptions. I can't work out today because is what follows a real limitation or an excuse? Be honest. Most times, it's an excuse. You're tired. You're busy. You don't feel like it. These aren't limitations. These are negotiations. And zero tolerance doesn't negotiate. Here's the policy. Commit to the practice, not to specific conditions. Commit to training every day, not to a specific workout. If your planned workout isn't possible, do something else. But do something. The practice continues. That's zero tolerance. The form can adapt. The commitment cannot. Apply this to every discipline you're building. Meditation, reading, skill work, whatever matters to you. Zero tolerance for skipping. The practice happens every day. If you miss a day, you're not practicing zero tolerance. You're practicing exceptions. And exceptions create weakness. Zero tolerance creates strength. Your brain will hate this. It wants exceptions. It wants escape hatches. It wants to negotiate when things are hard. Zero tolerance removes all of that. There's nothing to negotiate. The practice is absolute. Your brain eventually surrenders to this. But only if you're actually absolute. Any exception tells your brain, keep negotiating. There's still a way out. Close the way out. Make it absolute. Zero tolerance. Zero exceptions. That's the policy. Chapter 13. Building your discipline stack. You can't build scary discipline with one habit. You need multiple disciplines stacking together, each reinforcing the others, creating a system so strong that failure becomes impossible. This is the discipline stack, and it's how unstoppable people become unstoppable. Here's how it works. Each discipline you build successfully creates evidence. Evidence that you can keep commitments. Evidence that you're reliable. Evidence that you're someone who doesn't quit. Your brain sees this evidence and updates your identity. We're the kind of person who keeps commitments. That identity makes future disciplines easier, because you're not just trying to build a habit. You're being who you are, and who you are keeps commitments. This is why building your first discipline is hardest. You have no evidence. Your brain doesn't trust you. You've probably broken promises to yourself before. Your brain remembers. It's skeptical. It resists. Building that first discipline through pure willpower is brutal, but necessary, because once you have it, once you've proven you can maintain something, the second discipline is easier, because you have evidence, proof you can do this. Stack example. You start with waking at 5 a.m. First 30 days are hell. Pure discipline. No evidence to support you. Just grinding it out. By day 90, it's automatic. You've built a discipline. You have evidence. Now you add cold showers. Still hard, but easier than the wake-up was. Because you're not starting from zero. You have proof you can build discipline. Your brain knows you're capable. By day 90 of cold showers, you add the third discipline. Exercise. Even easier. The stack is building. After 6 months, you have 3 solid disciplines. Wake time, cold showers, exercise. Each one is automatic. Together, they're proving your identity. I'm someone with scary discipline. Now, when you add the fourth discipline, meditation, reading, whatever, your brain doesn't resist as hard because you've established a pattern. You build disciplines. You keep them. You don't quit. That's who you are. This is the power of stacking. Each discipline makes the next one easier. Not because the discipline itself is easier. Because your identity as a disciplined person is stronger. You're not fighting your old identity anymore. You've become someone new. And that person builds and maintains disciplines. It's what they do. But here's the critical part. You have to build disciplines one at a time. not all at once. Most people try to change everything simultaneously. New wake time, new diet, new workout, new meditation practice, new reading habit, all starting Monday. By Wednesday, they're overwhelmed. By Friday, they've quit everything because they tried to build 10 disciplines without any evidence they could build one. Start with one. Master it. Make it automatic. 90 days minimum. Then add the next. Master that. 90 days. Then the next. This is slower than trying to change everything at once, but it actually works. Slow success beats fast failure. Every time. Build your stack discipline by discipline, each one becoming automatic before you add the next. Here's the optimal stack for scary discipline. Foundation, wake time. This goes first. Sets the tone for everything. Non-negotiable wake time builds the discipline muscle that supports everything else. Master this first. Second, physical practice. Cold shower or exercise or both. Trains your body to tolerate discomfort. Reinforces that you do hard things daily. This practice supports everything else because it proves you can override your body's resistance. Third, mind practice. Meditation or reading or focused work. Trains your mind. Builds focus. Creates mental discipline to match your physical discipline. Don't skip this. Mental discipline is as important as physical. Fourth, fuel practice. Eating discipline. What you eat. When you eat. How much you eat. Discipline here compounds with the physical and mental disciplines. Your body and mind function better with proper fuel. This makes other disciplines easier. Fifth, evening protocol. How you end your day matters as much as how you start it. Evening review. Reflection. Planning tomorrow. This closes the loop. Creates daily accountability. Ensures tomorrow you are starting from yesterday's learning. Each discipline in your stack serves a purpose. Each reinforces the others. Together, they create a system of discipline so strong that your life transforms. Not because any single discipline is magic, because the stack creates a disciplined identity. And that identity makes everything possible. Most people have 0 disciplines. Some people have 1. Few people have 3 or more stacked properly. Those few are the ones operating at the scary level. Because they're not just disciplined in one area. They're disciplined in all areas. Their wake time is fixed. Their body is trained. Their mind is sharp. Their fuel is clean. Their evenings are intentional. Everything stacks. Everything reinforces. Everything compounds. That's unstoppable. Build your stack. One discipline at a time. Master each before adding the next. In 2 years, you'll have a discipline stack that looks impossible to people just starting. 5 years, you'll be operating at a level that scares people. Because they can see you're different. Everything about you screams discipline. Wait time. Appearance, focus, energy, performance, everything. That's the discipline stack. That's how you get there. Part 4, Extreme Discipline Systems. Chapter 14, The Monk System. Let's go deep into how monks build discipline that lasts lifetimes. Because they've figured out something most people never will. Discipline isn't about individual willpower. It's about system design. The monk system is the most extreme, most effective discipline system ever created. And you can adapt it. The monk system has 5 core elements. First, physical environment control. Monks remove all distractions from their environment. Their rooms are bare. No TV. No entertainment. No comfort items. Just necessities. This isn't punishment. It's system design. When distractions don't exist in your environment, you can't choose them. The choice is eliminated. So is the temptation. Apply this. What's distracting you? Remove it from your environment. Not just when you're working. From your life. If social media is destroying your focus, delete the apps. Not temporarily, permanently. If TV is stealing your evenings, get rid of it. Not hidden in a closet. Gone. If your phone is your weakness, get a dumb phone. Extreme? Yes. Effective? Also yes. Second element, schedule absoluteness. Monks don't decide when to meditate. The bell rings at 3:30 a.m. They meditate. No decision. No negotiation. The schedule decides. They just execute. This eliminates decision fatigue, removes negotiation, makes discipline automatic, because there's nothing to decide. Apply this. Schedule your non-negotiables at the same time every day. Not, I'll work out sometime today. I'll work out at 6 a.m. The time is fixed. When 6 a.m. arrives, you don't decide. You execute. The schedule is the boss. You're just the employee. This sounds constraining. It's liberating. No more mental energy wasted on when should I do this. Third element, public accountability. When a monk takes vows, the entire monastery witnesses. Everyone knows what they committed to. If they fail, everyone sees. This creates social pressure that's stronger than personal willpower. You don't want to disappoint yourself, but disappointing hundreds of people who witnessed your vow. That's powerful motivation. Apply this. Make your commitments public. Not just to friends who'll let you off easy. To people who'll judge you for failing. Post it online. Tell your harshest critics. Create stakes. When failure means public humiliation, you're much less likely to fail. Is this emotionally healthy? Maybe not. Is it effective? Absolutely. Fourth element, identity first, behavior second. Monks don't try to meditate like monks. They are monks. The identity comes first. The behavior follows automatically. When you are a monk, meditation isn't something you do. It's who you are. The behavior is just the expression of identity. Apply this. Stop trying to do disciplined things. Become a disciplined person. The identity shift is everything. You're not someone trying to wake up early. You are someone who wakes up early. You're not someone trying to eat healthy. You are someone who eats healthy. Identity first. Behavior follows. This requires killing your old identity. But we covered that. Time to execute it. Fifth element, no alternatives. In the monastery, there's one way to do things. The way it's been done for centuries. No customization. No finding what works for you. No alternatives. This removes decision-making. When there's only one way, you do it that way. End of story. Apply this. Stop looking for the perfect system. Pick one. Commit absolutely. Stop changing programs every month because you're not seeing results. Stick with one system long enough to actually see results. The searching for better systems is just another form of avoiding the work. Pick, commit, execute. That's the monk way. The monk system works because it's absolute. No flexibility. No customization. No finding what feels right. Just execution of a proven system. Does this sound extreme? Good. Extreme is what works. Moderate systems create moderate results. You don't want moderate. You want scary. The monk system creates scary. Adapt it. Apply it. Execute it. Chapter 15. The SEAL System. Navy SEALs have the most intense selection process in the military. Over 75% of candidates quit, not because they're not physically capable, because they're not mentally capable. The ones who make it through have learned a discipline system that most civilians can't comprehend. Let me show you how it works. The SEAL system is built on one core concept: task, condition, standard. Every action has a task, what you're doing, a condition, the circumstances, and a standard, the acceptable outcome. And the standard doesn't change based on the condition. You hit the standard. Period. Tired. Hit the standard. Injured. Hit the standard. Conditions don't matter. The standard is the standard. Here's an example. Task: complete 42 push-ups. Condition: after running 4 miles. Standard: all push-ups count, proper form. A SEAL candidate doesn't get to do 30 push-ups and say, "But I'm tired from the run." The standard is 42. You do 42, or you fail. The condition, tired from run, doesn't lower the standard. You find a way to hit the standard, despite the condition. This is the discipline system. You set your standard, then you hit it, regardless of conditions. Conditions are always shifting. Tired, busy, stressed, sick. Conditions are excuses. The standard is the standard. You either hit it or you don't. And if you don't, you failed. Not because the task was impossible, because you weren't good enough. So you get better. Then you hit the standard. That's the SEAL way. Apply this to your discipline. Let's say your task is work out for 1 hour. What's your standard? Complete the full workout as planned. What are the conditions that might make this hard? Tired, short on time, slight injury, feeling unmotivated. Normal people let these conditions lower their standard. I'll just do 30 minutes. I'll skip the hard parts. I'll take it easy. They're adjusting the standard based on conditions. The SEAL system says no. The standard is the standard. You're tired? Do the full hour. Figure out how. You're short on time. Make time. You have a slight injury? Modify the exercises, but hit the full hour. The condition doesn't change the standard. You adapt your execution to meet the standard despite the condition. That's the discipline. Here's what this creates: reliability. SEALs are known for one thing above all else. They always complete the mission. Always. Because they've trained in a system where the standard doesn't move. So they've learned to move themselves, to adapt, to find a way, to hit the standard regardless of circumstances. They're reliable because their system is absolute. You want to be reliable to yourself and others? Apply this system. Set your standards. Make them absolute. Then hit them. Every time. Regardless of conditions. When you're tired, you hit the standard tired. When you're busy, you hit the standard while busy. When you're not feeling it, you hit the standard anyway. The standard doesn't negotiate with your conditions. You adapt to meet the standard. That's the system. But here's the critical part. Your standards have to be realistic, but challenging. If you set a standard you can't possibly hit, you'll just break yourself. If you set a standard that's too easy, you're not building discipline. The SEAL system works because the standards are carefully calibrated. Hard enough to require discipline. Achievable enough to actually hit. Find that balance for your standards. Example standards for scary discipline. Wake time 5 a.m. Every day. No snooze. Standard. Feet hit floor within 30 seconds of alarm. Exercise. 60 minutes. Every day. Standard. Completion of planned workout regardless of energy level. Work 3 hours deep work. Every day. Standard. 0 distractions, phone off, complete focus. Eating planned meals only. Every day. Standard. No unplanned food, hit macro targets. These are standards. Not goals. Not ideals. Standards. And standards are absolute. You either hit them or you failed. That binary assessment removes negotiation. You're not asking, did I do my best? You're asking, did I hit the standard? Yes or no. If no, you failed. If yes, you succeeded. Simple. Clear. Effective. The SEAL system creates scary discipline because it removes gray area. Most people live in gray area. I mostly did it. I did pretty well. I tried hard. SEALs don't have gray area. Mission complete or mission failed. Standard hit or standard missed. Black and white. This clarity is what creates their discipline. Adopt it. Set your standards. Hit them. Every day. Regardless of conditions. That's how you build SEAL-level discipline. Chapter 16. The Spartan System. The ancient Spartans were the most disciplined warriors in history. Not the strongest. Not the biggest. The most disciplined. They won battles they shouldn't have won because their discipline was absolute. Let me show you their system and how you can use it. The Spartan system was built on suffering as preparation. Spartan boys were deliberately exposed to hardship from age 7. Minimal food. Harsh training. Brutal discipline. This wasn't cruelty. It was preparation. The Spartans understood war is suffering, so we train in suffering. So when war comes, we're ready. We've been preparing our whole lives. Modern application. You need to make your training harder than your performance. If your daily life is comfortable, you'll break when discomfort arrives. So make your training deliberately hard. Harder than necessary. So that when life gets hard, you're prepared. You've trained for this. Here's how. Add voluntary difficulty to your disciplines. Training? Make it harder than it needs to be. Add weight. Add distance. Add discomfort. If you can comfortably run 3 miles, train at 5 miles, so that 3 miles becomes easy. If you can comfortably lift certain weight, add 10 pounds. Make it uncomfortable. That discomfort is preparation. The Spartans also used shame as a motivator. In Spartan society, cowardice was the ultimate shame, worse than death. A Spartan would rather die than be labeled coward. This seems harsh, but it worked. Spartans didn't break in battle, ever, because breaking meant shame, and shame was unacceptable. Apply this. Make failure shameful in your own mind, not in a destructive way, in a motivating way. When you consider skipping your discipline, frame it as cowardice. I'm too tired to work out becomes, I'm too weak to handle discomfort. I'll start tomorrow becomes, I'm a quitter looking for an easy out. Harsh. Yes. Effective. Also yes. When failure equals cowardice in your mind, you don't fail. You push through. Because you're not a coward. The Spartans trained in formation. Never alone. Always together. This created group accountability. If one Spartan broke, the formation broke. So no one broke. Because letting down your brothers was unacceptable. The group's standard held everyone to excellence. Because no one wanted to be the weak link. Apply this. Find others on the same path. Not supportive friends who will let you slide. Warriors on the same mission. Who will call you out when you're weak. Who will push you when you're tired. Who won't accept your excuses. This isn't comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Group accountability creates discipline that individual willpower can't match. Find a formation. Hold each other to the standard. No weak links. Here's the most important part of the Spartan system. Identity through action. Spartans weren't born Spartan. They became Spartan. Through years of brutal training. Through constant demonstration of discipline. Through never breaking. The identity wasn't given. It was earned. Through action. Through proving yourself. Daily. For years. Until Spartan wasn't what you were called. It was who you were. Your application. You're not born disciplined. You become disciplined. Through action. Every day you execute your disciplines, you're earning the identity. Every day you keep your commitments, you're proving who you are. This is an instant. The Spartans trained from age 7 to 20 before being considered full warriors. 13 years of proving themselves. You need to prove yourself too. Not overnight. Over years. Through consistent action. Through never breaking. That's how the identity forms. The Spartan system is harsh. It's unforgiving. It demands total commitment. That's exactly why it works. Soft systems create soft people. Hard systems create hard people. You want scary discipline. Use the Spartan system. Make your training harder than necessary. Use shame as motivation. Train with others who won't accept weakness. Earn your identity through years of consistent action. That's the path. Walk it. Chapter 17. Creating your custom system. You've seen the monk system, the SEAL system, the Spartan system. Now you need to create yours. Not by copying one of these exactly, by understanding the principles and designing a system that works for your life, your commitments, your goals, your circumstances. Here's how. Start with your non-negotiables. What are the 3 to 5 disciplines that define who you're becoming? Not 20 things. Not everything you'd like to do. The 3 to 5 that matter most. The ones that, if you maintain them for 5 years, would completely transform you. These become your core disciplines. Everything else is optional. These are absolute. Example core disciplines. Wake time 5 a.m. No negotiation. Physical training 1 hour. Every day. Deep work 3 hours. Every day. Fuel discipline, clean eating. Every meal. Evening review 15 minutes. Every night. These 5, maintained consistently, would transform anyone. But you choose yours. What matters to you? What's essential for who you're becoming? Choose carefully, because these become absolute. Non-negotiable. The foundation of your system. Next, design your schedule. When does each discipline happen? Not sometime during the day. Exact times. Fixed. Absolute. Remember the monk principle. Schedule decides. You execute. No negotiation about when. The when is decided. You just show up. Example schedule. 5 a.m. wake. 5:05 a.m. cold shower. 5:15 a.m. physical training. 6:30 a.m. deep work block 1. 9:30 a.m. first meal. 10 a.m. deep work block 2. 1 p.m. second meal. 1:30 p.m. deep work block 3. 4:30 p.m. review. 5 p.m. evening flexibility. 9 p.m. evening review. 9:30 p.m. prepare for tomorrow. 10 p.m. sleep. This is a scaffold. Yours will be different, but the principle is the same. Everything is scheduled. The time is fixed. You don't decide when. The schedule decides. You execute. Third element, your standards. For each discipline, what's your standard? Not your goal. Your standard. The minimum acceptable outcome. Below this, you've failed. At or above this, you've succeeded. Binary. Clear. No gray area. Example standards. Wake time, alarm at 5 a.m. Feet on floor within 1 minute. No snooze. Physical training, 60 minutes minimum. Planned workout completed. No shortcuts. Deep work, 3 hours total. Phone off. No distractions. Actual work completed. Eating, planned meals only. Hit macros within 10%. No unplanned food. Evening review, 15 minutes minimum. Complete written review. Tomorrow planned. These standards are your measuring stick. Did you hit them? Yes or no? This binary assessment removes negotiation. You succeeded or you failed. Simple. Clear. Effective. Fourth, your accountability system. How will you ensure you follow through? Pure willpower isn't enough. You need external accountability. This might be public declaration. Might be a training partner. Might be financial stakes. Whatever makes failure painful enough that you won't fail. Options. Public declaration. Post your commitments. Report daily results. Public shame for failure. Partner accountability. Find someone as committed. Check in daily. Hold each other to standards. Financial stakes. Put money on the line. Hit your standards. Keep your money. Miss them, lose it. Professional coaching. Pay someone to hold you accountable. They don't accept excuses. Choose what works for you. But choose something. Accountability without teeth is worthless. Make failure costly. That's how you ensure success. Fifth, your adaptation protocol. What happens when circumstances change? Travel, illness, emergencies. Your system needs to handle these without breaking. Remember Gwaji, continuous practice without gaps. The practice continues, maybe modified, never stopped. Create your adaptation rules. Sick, do modified versions. Half duration, lower intensity, but do something. Traveling, adapt to available resources. Hotel room workouts, bodyweight exercises, but hit your standards. Emergency, handle the emergency, then return immediately. Same day if possible. Next day maximum. The rule, the practice continues. Always, maybe adapted, never stopped. This is how you maintain momentum despite circumstances. Circumstances don't break your system. They test it, and your system is strong enough to adapt. Now you have your custom system. Core disciplines identified. Schedule fixed. Standards set. Accountability chosen. Adaptation protocol ready. This is your blueprint. Your system. Design it carefully. Then execute it ruthlessly. For years. That's how you build scary discipline. Most people will skip this chapter. Too much work to design their system. They'll try to wing it. Wing it fails. Systems work. Design yours. Commit to it. Execute it. Transform through it. That's the path. Part 5. Living at the scary level. Chapter 18. When everyone thinks you're crazy. Here's what happens when you live with scary discipline. People think you're crazy. Not as a joke. They genuinely believe something is wrong with you. And you need to be prepared for this. Because their judgment will test you. Your friends will say you're too extreme. Your family will say you need balance. Your co-workers will say you're obsessed. Partners will say you care more about your disciplines than them. Everyone will have an opinion. And every opinion will be that you're doing too much. Going too far. Need to relax. This is the test. Not the alarm at 4 a.m. Not the cold shower. Not the discipline itself. The judgment from others. Because when everyone you know is telling you you're wrong, it's hard to stay the course. Doubt creeps in. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am too extreme. Maybe I should dial it back. That's when most people break. Not from the discipline itself. From the social pressure to be normal. Here's what you need to understand. Normal people are threatened by abnormal discipline. Your existence challenges their excuses. Every morning you get up at 4 a.m. while they sleep in. You're proving I'm not a morning person. Excuse is just an excuse. Every workout you complete while they scroll social media. You're proving I don't have time excuse is a lie. Your discipline makes them uncomfortable. So they attack it. The attacks come disguised as concern. I'm worried about you. You're working too hard. You need rest. This isn't healthy. This isn't actually concern. It's them trying to bring you back to their level. Because your exceptional discipline makes their mediocre discipline look bad. If you would just be normal, they could feel better about being average. Don't fall for it. Their concern isn't for you. It's for their ego. They need you to relax so they can feel okay about not trying. Your intensity threatens their comfort. So they call it obsessive. Unhealthy. Too much. All the while, they're the ones with actual problems. They're overweight. Undisciplined. Achieving nothing. But they're balanced. And you're the one with the problem? No. Here's the truth. When people call you obsessive, it's validation. It means you're operating at a level they can't understand. When they say you're too extreme, it means you're doing what they can't do. When they say you need balance, it means you've left them behind. All of this is good. It's proof you're on the right path. Because scary discipline doesn't look normal to normal people. It looks crazy. That's how you know it's working. But here's what you have to do. Stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to make them understand. They won't. Can't. Their frame of reference doesn't include the level you're operating at. Trying to explain is wasting your energy. Just do your thing. Let them talk. Their opinions are irrelevant to your mission. When someone says, "Don't you think you're going too far?" Don't argue. Don't defend. Just say maybe. And continue. They want engagement. Don't give it. When they say you need to relax, say okay. And don't relax. They want to change you. Don't change. Just stop engaging with their attempts. Your discipline is your business, not theirs. Here's what happens over time. Some people drift away. They can't handle your intensity. Good. They were holding you back anyway. Some people respect you from distance. They don't understand, but they see your results. Fine. Some rare people step up. They see what you're doing and want the same. These become your people. Let the first group go. Acknowledge the second. Embrace the third. You're building a different life. That requires different people. Expecting your old friends to understand your new level is unrealistic. They're playing a different game, at a different level, with different rules. You can't expect players at level 1 to understand level 10. They don't have the context. They don't have the experience. They don't have the discipline. Stop expecting them to get it. Find people at your level, or above. People operating with the same intensity, same discipline, same commitment. These are your people now. Not because you're better than others, because you're different, and different needs different. Your social circle needs to match your discipline level. If it doesn't, change it. Living at the scary level is lonely initially. Most people can't operate here, can't understand it, can't relate to it. You're going to feel isolated. That's normal. That's the price. But over time, you'll find others. And when you do, those connections are different, deeper, based on mutual respect for discipline, for commitment, for operating at a level most people can't comprehend. Those connections are worth more than 100 normal friendships. So when everyone thinks you're crazy, celebrate. It means you've left the normal zone, entered the scary zone, where exceptional people operate, where discipline rules, where excuses don't exist. Welcome. This is where you belong. Don't let their judgment pull you back. You've worked too hard to get here. Chapter 19, The Daily Execution. Theory is useless without execution. You know the systems. You understand the principles. Now you have to execute. Every single day. Without negotiation. Without exception. Here's what daily execution at the scary level actually looks like. 5 a.m. Alarm goes off. You don't think. You move. Feet hit floor within 30 seconds. No snooze. No negotiation. No, just 5 more minutes. The alarm is the stimulus. Your movement is the response. Automatic. You're up before your conscious mind even engages. This is trained. This is discipline. 5:05 a.m. Cold shower. 2 minutes minimum. Water as cold as it goes. You don't ease in. You get in. The shock hits. Your body screams. Your mind offers escape. You ignore it. Stay in. Breathe. Control your response to the discomfort. This trains your nervous system. You're in control, not your comfort-seeking biology. 5:15 a.m. Physical training begins. Your planned workout. Not what you feel like doing. What you planned yesterday. You execute. Every rep, every set. Your body is tired. Doesn't matter. Your mind wants to stop. Doesn't matter. You hit your standard. Because the standard doesn't negotiate with how you feel. 6:30 a.m. Workout complete. You feel like you've already won the day. Because you have. It's 6:30 a.m. and you've already done what most people won't do all day. You've gotten up when you didn't want to. Endured cold when warmth was available. Trained when rest was tempting. You've stacked 3 disciplines before most people are awake. That's power. 6:45 a.m. First meal. Planned. Prepared. Clean fuel for your body. Not what tastes good. What works. You're not eating for pleasure. You're eating for performance. This is fuel discipline. Every meal is a choice. Every choice is training. 7 a.m. Deep work begins. 3 hours of focused work. Phone is off. Not on silent. Off. Computer blocks all distracting sights. Room is silent. You have one task. Execute your most important work. No checking email. No quick social media check. No distractions. 3 hours of pure execution. This is when you build your future. 10 a.m. Deep work complete. You've accomplished more in 3 hours than most people accomplish all day. Because you're actually focused. No fake work. No busy work. Real work. This is what moves your life forward. 3 hours every morning. That's 21 hours per week. 1,092 hours per year. On your most important work. While everyone else is still waking up and checking their phones. The rest of the day follows the same pattern. Scheduled. Executed. No negotiation. Meal times are fixed. Work blocks are focused. Evening review happens. Preparation for tomorrow happens. Sleep time is non-negotiable. Every element is planned. Every plan is executed. Nothing is left to how you feel. Because feelings are unreliable. The system is reliable. This is what daily execution looks like. Not exciting. Not glamorous. Just systematic execution of the plan. Day after day. Week after week. Month after month. Year after year. This is what creates scary discipline. Not one perfect day. Thousands of good enough days executed consistently. Here's what most people get wrong. They're looking for the perfect day. The day where everything clicks. Where they're motivated. Where execution feels effortless. That day doesn't exist. Most days are grind. Most days you don't want to do it. Most days you're tired. Most days you'd rather sleep in. Skip the workout. Take it easy. Every day is a choice between the system and your feelings. The system always wins. That's the execution. You're not executing because you feel like it. You're executing because you committed. That's the difference. Motivation is for amateurs. Professionals execute the system. Period. Good day, bad day, doesn't matter. The system executes. That's daily execution at the scary level. People see your results and think, you must be so motivated. No. Most days you're not motivated. You're disciplined. You're systematic. You execute the plan regardless of motivation. That's what they don't see. They see the results. They don't see the thousands of unmotivated mornings where you execute it anyway. That's where the scary discipline is built. In the unmotivated execution. This is your daily life now. Planned. Systematic. Executed. Every day. Without negotiation. Your alarm dictates your morning. Your schedule dictates your day. Your system dictates your life. You're not spontaneous. You're not flexible. You're not going with the flow. You're executing a system designed to create results. And it's working. Because systems work. Always. If you execute them. Always. So execute. Today. Tomorrow. Every day. The system is your life now. Not a phase. Not temporary. Your life. This is how you live. This is who you are. Execute. Part 6. The CHLNG Chapter 20. The 60-Day Scary Discipline Challenge. You've learned enough. Now prove it. 60 days of scary discipline. Not perfect, scary. The kind that makes people uncomfortable. The kind that actually works. Week 1 to 2. Foundation. Build your core habits. This phase is brutal. Your body resists. Your brain rebels. Push through. Core disciplines. Fixed wake time, no snooze. Cold exposure, 2 to 3 minute cold shower. Daily training, 45 to 60 minutes. Deep work, 2 to 3 hours, phone off. Eating discipline, planned meals only. Miss a day. Start over. Track daily. Yes or no. No gray areas. Week 3 to 4, crisis. Motivation fades. Everything in you wants to quit. Don't. You've come too far. Modify if needed, but never stop. Use accountability. Go public. Lean on pressure. Whatever it takes. Week 5 to 6, shift. It's still hard, but different. The fight becomes flow. Discipline starts to feel automatic. Your brain rewires. This is the transformation. Stay sharp. Don't relax. Week 7 to 8, integration. You're no longer doing the habits. You are them. Keep it simple. No changes. No creativity. Just execute. Boring but effective. Week 9, completion. The final stretch. Don't ease up. Day 60 matters most. It proves you finish strong. That you don't quit when it's almost over. After 60 days, you don't stop. This isn't a challenge. It's your new baseline. Keep going. Add or refine habits, but never break the chain. You've built scary discipline. Now live it forever. Chapter 21. Becoming the scariest version of yourself. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of execution. Becoming your scariest version means being so disciplined it seems inhuman. So consistent it looks impossible. You wake at the same time. Train daily. Hit your standards. No excuses. People won't understand how you do it. You've just built a system that makes hard things look easy. To become this version, your old self must die. The one that negotiates, quits, hesitates. Kill it through relentless execution. Transformation is painful. Let the old you go. Decide completely. Not I'll try. Decide. Choose your system. Monk, SEAL, Spartan, whatever. Commit fully. Set 3 to 5 non-negotiable disciplines. Make them identity, not actions. Build accountability strong enough to outlast weak moments. Then execute. 60 days. 0 gaps. Full commitment. Then keep going. Forever. Over time, you'll transform. Slowly. Completely. You'll separate from normal people. They'll judge. You'll rise. 5 years from now, you won't recognize who you were. Most won't do this. They'll think, not act. You will. While they plan, you'll execute. That's the difference. You stand at a choice. Stay comfortable, or become dangerous. Choose scary over safe. Commit. Execute. Transform. The scariest level of discipline isn't written here. It's in the mirror. When you execute relentlessly, with no gaps, no excuses, no quit. Forever. Now go build it.